Welcome to Read Your Comics. Today is a special edition comic show haul. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. So, I don't normally post videos on Sunday, but I went to a comic show yesterday and thought I would just make a quick little haul video. Just going to kind of look through this stack of books that I got and give kind of a thought process behind them as I grabbed them. I don't really put a run of FF together anymore, but every once in a while I see a Doom cover like this and I have to get it. I think I actually already have this one, but it was a good price. If you see these prices, a lot of these weren't this price. A lot of times it was like under $3, it was really just $1. Or, you just get a stack at a dealer and they'll give you a good deal. So when I see a run of something like these reprint series, I tend to grab them, especially if I can get them cheap. So, under $5 a book, that's a pretty good price. Got several of these Marvel double features, which were the old Tales of Suspense with Captain America and Iron Man in them. Definitely some good ones in here. Marvel fanfares. A lot of times Marvel fanfares just catch my eye based on the cover. This one with the Hulk cover, fighting Unis and the Blob. Sounded like a fun one to get. I've neglected my Hulk run for years, like years. And I couldn't help myself but just go ahead and fill in some holes today. So Jarella books always get my attention. Nice Jarella book. Abomination. Can't pass that up. Doc Samson and the Rhino. This is just a striking cover with the leader and his walking bubble machine. Thor versus the Hulk. You never go wrong with good Thor. That'll be a good Throwdown Thursday post at some point. And I need to fill in about 4 more issues of this run with this corner box where Smart Hulk devolves into the Savage Hulk. I definitely like to pick up any cool Carl Barks or Don Rosa issues of Donald Duck and Scrooge McDuck. 3D book. I thought this one would be fun for the kids. I guess I'm going to start getting into Valiant again. At least the early part, up to Unity. I've had this in the past. I actually still have a cool trade paperback of this, but Barry Windsor Smith, Solar #1, cool pickup. And it started really when I saw this Magnus number 2 and 3. I was looking for a #1 when I ran across that Solar, and I was like, I guess I'm getting these. Another Hulk appearance and a Marvel team-up with no Spider-Man. I can never leave a comic show without getting the What If, and this one jumped out to me the most. I've never read this one, so that'll be a fun one. Savage Dragon for $1. I have the other covers with the different colored logo, and this was the last one I needed, and this was actually on my way out the door. I stopped at one more booth and just happened to see it and grabbed it. And I'm putting a Savage Dragon run together, so I just went ahead and grabbed a couple that he had, and they were cheap too. They were more than $2. It's funny that this was in a $10 bag at one time. I think this is a continuation, actually, of the ongoing Savage Dragon #2, and I think the story continued into this, if I'm not mistaken. Cool Hellboy issue. I never read Savage Dragon up this high. I stopped in probably the teens or around 20 back in the day, and I've started to put a run together. This one went way high. For $1, I figured I'd just go ahead and get it. A Thor issue I've been looking for to fill in my Mutant Massacre tie-in run. I used to have this whole Walt Simonson run, and unfortunately I I sold it around the time the Thor Ragnarok movie came out, and I kind of regret that. I don't know that I'll try to get it together again because that Beta Ray Bill issue's gone up so much, but I definitely wanted this issue to go back into that Mutant Massacre run. Electra Assassin, #1 for $1. Can't pass that up. So if you've watched my other video on hardware, #1, I've been looking for these milestone books, and the #1s aren't too hard to come by, but man, those #2 issues are hard to come. In fact, the dealer I got these two off of, he even joked that he was like, everybody just sells the #1s, and laughed at himself because he's like, well, that's all I have. But he gave me a good deal on those two. Ultraverse hard case #5. I really only picked this up because I want to. There's like about 6 books that have this Barry Windsor Smith rune story in the back. That's essentially like Rune 0. So saw that, got it for $1. Meteor Man #1. When I was reading Nightfall with my kids recently, and we saw an ad for Meteor Man for the movie, and they were pretty interested. Like, who is this character? What's he all about? And I was like, well, it's just a movie. It was actually kind of a comedy, but so I saw this, and again, it was. I mean, it says 3, but it was in that like if it's under $5, it's really just $1 kind of a deal. So I was like, why not? I'll get it. The kids were asking about it, so why not get it? Putting together a run of the Max. Found a Max #2 for cheap. Mighty Magnor #2 and 3. Those were pretty cool finds. I like the #1 issue that I had that had the pop-out folder. I think I have a video on that. So yeah, finding #2 and 3 was kind of cool. I don't know how long this book lasted, but I see the #1s pretty often, but I never really see the later ones. Then I found this like run of Captain Victory. Although this is #1, and this was in that under $5 get it for $1 thing, so I got this for $1. And then there was like a run of like 9. Is this 10? Yep, #10, 11, 12, 13, and special #1. So I've heard these are kind of hard to get. The later issues are harder to find. So it was kind of cool. So when I saw those, and again, got them for $1 each. Can't pass that up. Trying to get a run of these Kirby Topps books. And this one may still be polybagged if I'm looking at it. This one may still have the card in it. Look at that later. Steel #1. I read the Death and Return of Superman story with the kids, and they really like the Steel character. So when I saw this for $1, I was like, hey, I'll grab that for them. They'll probably enjoy that. Same with Robin here. This is actually a 3rd print. What was funny is this dealer, it was in that under $5 was $1, and then 5 was $5. But he had like Robin #1s in one box, like a chunk like this, and then you move to the other box, and it was a chunk like this of Robin #1s, and they were all priced $5 each. And I saw this one for $3. I was like, oh, that's $1. I'll get it. I realize it's a 3rd printing after, but again, I kind of got this for the kids because in reading Nightfall, they were interested in the what's his name, Tim Drake Robin, and knowing something about him. So I went ahead and grabbed this, and I remember reading that as a kid, so it would be fun. These comic reviews are pretty awesome. If you're not familiar with this magazine, it's essentially takes Sunday strips and collects like a month's worth of strips into this magazine format, and it's all different kind, like several different ones. But these particular ones drew my eye because this is Jack Kirby's Sky Masters, and with it being on the cover, I had to go ahead and grab some. So there's another one, Sky Masters. This was actually the first one I saw when I was like digging, and this immediately jumped. I was like, that's a Kirby drawing, and I was like, oh, it's that Sky Masters, which I've been meaning to buy. There's like it's either a trade or a hardcover I've been meaning to buy, but I figured grab these. These are kind of cool to have them in this like, and it's kind of newsprint inside too, so it gives that old feel to it. So thought that was pretty cool. Another one with some on the cover. This one has this Casey Ruggles. That's cool. It's cool comic art. But it had Sky Masters down here, so I went ahead and grabbed it. And I probably missed some when I look at these numbers. They aren't consecutive, so I probably don't have like a good chunk of story, but you know, it's kind of cool to have, and hopefully I'll have more next time. Can't pass up a cool Ninja Turtles cover. I didn't know Ninja Turtles had a comic strip in the papers. Kind of picked this one up for the kids, really, but Ninja Turtles always fun. This is one I actually have already. It's a McFarlane cover that was only done on this. I don't know that this was ever used for anything else. I don't think there's really any interior. I can't remember. Maybe like a couple McFarlane drawings, kind of like a quick article on the front. But it's really just the Spider-Man news strip from about 1980, late 80s something. And the Kingpin was in it. And since I already have this one, I'm actually going to send this one off to my buddy West Coast Davengers, who's a big McFarlane fan, has the motto, see Todd, buy Todd. So I'm going to go ahead and let him have that one. And then here's another McFarlane cover. And I think these are the only two McFarlane covers. And I'm keeping this one, Dave. I'm sorry. But I'm hooking you up with one. But there was only one of these, so I grabbed it. That's all I got. Just thought I'd like to share some of my haul today and get your guys' opinions. See if there was anything in there you thought was particularly interesting. If there's anything you want to see a video on sooner as opposed to later. I mean, I've got a couple of weeks of videos already lined up, but hey, if there's something in here you guys really want to see, say, hey, do a video on that, and I'll bump it up in the schedule. But as always, read your comics.